What's going on, guys? Aaron Goldsten here, and in this video I want to give you a free strategy, a fun tip, and most importantly a fun, cool exercise you can do that will automatically, naturally motivate you to doing stuff, to getting more done. One of the, there's two things you need to get anything you want in life. Whether it's getting rich, if you're watching this channel, it's probably how to get rich, but you can use this for anything in life. That's why some of these principles are so cool, because you'll start to go through these trainings, right? Maybe you go through my programs, maybe you watch these videos, maybe you do a combination of both, maybe you start the journey of improving yourself, and you notice, surprisingly, that you start making more money, you have less stress, you're happier, your relationships improve, and maybe you lose some weight and get in better shape just because you can take these tactics and apply them automatically in every area of life. So with that said, this is how this works. So you need to know the strategies. You need to know the actual tactics and mechanics for getting what you want. But you also need to have the motivation. If I give you everything, right? Like if you're in my 51 Pillars of Wealth program, that's why that product is so powerful, because part of the product is getting in your mind, reframing. In that product, I pull out junk and I put better information inside your brain. I literally pull out years and decades of bad programming and I inject the right stuff into your brain to where I make you automatically, naturally, fully motivated all the time. I make sure that you have 100% complete confidence in everything that you do. I make sure that you wake up fully motivated, ready to take over the world every single day. I make sure that you stay motivated throughout the day by giving you specific strategies you can steal, follow, and implement that get you there. Now, why do I do that? Because I understand what I'm talking about right here. I understand that you need to have the motivation, because if I give you the techniques, but you don't have the drive to implement the techniques, or you don't believe the techniques will work for you, you have self-doubt, then you won't do the techniques. And if you don't do the techniques, you won't get any result. Doesn't that kind of make sense? So what I want to share with you today is a strategy you can use that will allow you to naturally and automatically start to motivate yourself by reprogramming yourself. All right, so this book I was reading, and if you read a lot of self-improvement books, you'll hear a lot of the principles over and over again, because, the principles are good, and it's good because it reinforces it. It's good because it's true, and, you kind of, it allows you to have a deeper understanding of the principles. So this is what this book said to do. It said to go out and do an activity. So this is what it said. It said if you're rich, so there's this guy that I was listening to. His name was Orrin Woodward. And he had no money whatsoever. And what he would do is him and his wife would go look at homes that were way out of their price ranges. And one of the things he liked is he wanted to have a what's that thing called? He wanted to have a bridge in his home. I believe it was a bridge. He wanted to have like a bridge in his home. So he would go look at these homes he couldn't afford that had bridges in it. And he would do this over and over and over again. And not only that, he would do other activities. He would do other things that put himself in a position where he was experiencing what it would be like to have the things. Recently, the last time I heard this guy speak, I went and I saw him speak live. He went from working at a job, which he was not too fond of, to now being a massively successful entrepreneur, and he's buying a 17,500 square foot house. And my guess is it has a bridge in it. Because what happens is when you put yourself in a situation where you experience, you touch, you feel, you breathe, you see, you take all of your senses and you experience something that you want to experience, a lifestyle you can live, it starts to motivate you and change who you are on the inside. So once I heard that, I started to do that. I did this when I had no money. What I would do is I would go test drive Camaros, because I thought Camaros were the sexiest cars in the world. So I would literally, I had no money. I mean, I had money, but I was, I couldn't afford a Camaro, right? I was making, I was a server. I wasn't making that much money. Then before that, I was delivering pizza at Domino's. Wasn't making that much money. Then before that, I was working at Subway. Wasn't making that much money. All right, I had another job in there pushing carts at Walmart. When you push carts at Walmart, and I was making I don't know, $9.50 or $8.50 an hour, something like that. You know, it's not too feasible to afford a Camaro, but I did it because that's what the book said. So I literally went to every single Chevy dealership, like pretty much in the area. I went to about 20 of them. I like maxed them out, and I would test drive the Camaro. I'd walk in, I'd say, hey, I'm interested in the Camaro, and then they'd let me test drive it. And then I'd wait, you know, a few weeks, maybe a month, and I'd go test drive another Camaro, and I'd go to another dealership because I was afraid if I went back to the first dealership, you know, me being this little punk kid walking in the dealership wanting to test drive a car that it didn't seem like I could buy, I didn't think they would take me seriously, and I thought they would, you know, reject me and tell me I couldn't test drive it, right? And actually, I had someone do that. I had someone say, yeah, you know, I just don't want to pull the car around. I just don't want to take it out. So needless to say, when I bought my Camaro, I did not buy it from him. I actually drove by the dealership once I bought it to see if he was there, but, you know, he wasn't there. Probably got fired because he was kind of a knucklehead and a dummy anyway. But what this did is when I would get in the Camaro, and I would hold the steering wheel, the leather steering wheel, and I would look all around it. And the Camaro, I got a decked out Hot Wheels edition Camaro that had every feature imaginable with had little things on the side that would glow in the dark. I don't think they glow in the, there was like lights on the side. It had the big touchscreen thing, right, that you could press. It was all touchscreen, all fancy, right? So by me experiencing that, sitting in the Camaro, I got more motivated because it was something, it made a goal that I had, it made me hungrier for it. It made me more motivated for it because I experienced it. I would test drive it, and I'd put my foot on the gas, and I'd go fast, and I'd feel the adrenaline and the excitement of driving this really cool car. I would look around me, and I'd see people looking at me, and it'd make me feel cool. And by doing so, if you do that in activity, it motivates you to want to get it more, which in turn naturally pushes you forward and motivates you to get the things that you want in life. So I did this with a bunch of things. There was this massage chair, which I wanted. And this massage, so you know, you can go to like the mall and they got those like $100 things you can put over a chair and it kind of massages your back. I didn't go sit in one of those. I went and sat in the $5,000 one that like wraps your arms and your feet and that scans your back and that analyzes where your back is and adjusts for you to where it feels like 6 people that are professional masseuses are giving you a massage at once. So I would go sit in that chair and I would say, oh, I love this chair. I'm going to buy this chair. And I would go do these little activities, experience these little things that I would ultimately want to buy and get once I'm rich. Now, some of these things I bought. The Camaro I bought. I took $9,500. Some of you guys know the story. I went to the dealership. I threw it on the table. Drove off with the car, the Hot Wheels Edition Camaro. This was back, you know, obviously a handful of years ago when the Hot Wheels Edition Camaro came out and it was like the hot thing, and I bought it. It was pretty cool, you know, definitely enjoyable. So, what you want to do, now maybe you don't want to own a Camaro. Maybe you're like, Aaron, I don't really think Camaros are cool. Hey, cool. Maybe you don't want to, you know, live in a big home. All right, totally cool. What you want to do is you want to say to yourself, you know what, when I'm rich, when I'm making all the money in the world, what are some of the things that I'm going to want to buy? What are some of the things I'm going to want to own? Maybe it's a certain kind of vehicle. Maybe it's a certain kind of home. Maybe you want to live in a certain neighborhood. Maybe there's these lofts that you want to live in. There's this fancy apartment places. They're the most expensive one in the city that I live in. I went there and I got a walkthrough of them. And they're pretty nice. The one I want to get is the most expensive one that they have. It's like $8,000 a month. So I got a walkthrough of the entire place. I experienced it. And guess what? When I left there, I was like, holy shit, this is pretty cool. I definitely want to move here one day. It motivated me. It makes it more realistic. It makes it more attainable because you experience it. You experience it. Sorry about that, guys. I've said that a few times. So this is what you want to do. You want to make a list of 5 to 10 things you want to buy, you want to own, you want to have when you're rich. Could be a vehicle, could be a home, could be living in a certain place. Maybe it's a chandelier you want. Maybe it's some really fancy furniture, right? I had a bed that I got from my parents that was like probably about 25 years old. I wanted to get a newer bed. So what I would do is I would go to these mattress stores and I would test out their memory foam king size beds. My test drive, I would sit there and I'd go there and I would lay there and I'd lay down in the bed and I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. This is really big. This is nice, right? You know, because it's not 25 years old. This is nice. I like it. And then I'd get up and I'd leave. I do that. Guess what? One day I went out and I bought that California King bed that I wanted. I bought it in cash. It's sitting in my bedroom right now. What you want to do is make a list of the 5 to 10 things that you want to have, own, buy. Could be a boat. Could be some furniture. Maybe you want to get maybe you like taking baths and you want to get a really big bath. Maybe you want to get a hot tub outside your home. Go to those. Maybe you like golfing and you're like, you know what? When I'm rich, I want to have a really nice pair of golf sets. Make a list of all these things. And then what you want to do is 1 to 2 times a month, 1 to 2 times a month, 1 to 2 times a month, go experience each of these things. Go look at the place that has the hot tubs and check out the different hot tubs and pick out which hot tub you want. Then in a few weeks later, go to the golf store and look at the most, well, I like to buy the most expensive stuff, but maybe you don't. You know, whatever you want to do is totally cool. But go look at the different golf things and go say, you know what, when I'm rich, I'm going to get this golf set and this golf thing and this hat and these shoes and all this stuff. Maybe you like shoes. So go to the mall and say, you know what, when I'm rich, I'm going to come here and I'm going to buy all these shoes. I'm going to come to this store and I'm just going to buy this whole fucking row of shoes. Whatever it is that you like, go make a list of it and go experience it. Go experience it. And then once your list is done, go experience it again, right? Warren Woodward, he didn't go look at one home. He went and looked at multiple homes. You can do the same thing. This will, A, make everything more attainable for you. B, you'll enjoy it. It's a fun activity because it's something you want. And C, and most importantly, it will naturally and automatically motivate you to go out there and get the things that you want in life. So, hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you on the next video.